All right, good morning. Hopefully I got audio. Yeah. Anyhow, so we've got Judges 6 and 7 today. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Jehovah. And Jehovah delivered them into the hands of Midian 7 years. All right, so they did evil. They turned them over to a bunch of wicked people. And the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel, and because the Midianites, the children of Israel, of them made the dens which are in the mountains and the caves and the strongholds. And so it was that Israel had sown that the Midianites that came up, and the Amalekites, and the children of the east, and even they came up against them. They encamped against them and destroyed the increase in the earth, and till thou come unto Gaza, and left no substance for Israel, neither sheep, nor ox, nor ass. For they came up their cattle with their tents, and they came as grasshoppers. For the multitude, for both their camels were without number, and they entered into the land to destroy it. And Israel was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites. And the children of Israel cried unto Jehovah. So they came up from, this is people that would be coming up from Saudi Arabia. Okay, Midian is east of the Red Sea in Saudi Arabia today. What we call Saudi Arabia today. That Jehovah had sent prophets unto the children of Israel, which said unto them, Thus saith Jehovah the God of Israel, I brought you up from Egypt, and brought you forth out of the house of bondage. I delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand that all that oppress you, and drave them out from before you, and gave you their land. That's where we get, okay, out of bondage. The covenant of peace, it's called the Ten Commandments, the covenant of peace, the Holy Covenant. It's also called the law of liberty. The law of liberty. Why? Because he brings you out of bondage, out of Egypt. Today we'd see out of the world, out of this worldly covetousness that we're stuck in now. And I said unto you that I am Jehovah your God. Fear not the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell, but ye have not obeyed my voice. They learned the way of the heathen. Verse 11, and they came an angel of Jehovah, and sat under the oak which was in Ophrah, and pertained unto Joash the Abiezrite, and his son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress, to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of Jehovah appeared unto him, and said unto him, Jehovah is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. And Gideon said unto him, O my Jehovah, if Lord be with us, then as all befall us, where be all of his miracles, for which our fathers told us, did not Jehovah bring us up from Egypt? But now Jehovah has forsaken us, and delivered us unto the hands of the Midianites. And Jehovah looked upon him, and said, Go in this thy might, that thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have I not sent thee? And he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. And Jehovah said unto him, Surely I will be with thee, and thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. They will all be as one man. And he said unto him, If I have found grace in thy sight, then show me a sign that thou talkest with me. Depart not hence, I pray thee, until I come unto thee. Bring forth my present, and set it before thee. And he said, I will tarry until thou come again. And Gideon went in, and made ready a kid, and unleavened cakes, and an ephah of flour, and fresh, and he put it in a basket, and put the broth in a pot, and brought it unto him under the oak, and presented it. And the angel of Jehovah said unto him, Take the flesh and the unleavened cakes, and lay them upon this rock, and pour out the broth. And he did so. And the angel of Jehovah put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand, and touched the flesh and unleavened cakes, and there rose fire out of the rock, and consumed the flesh and the unleavened cakes. And the angel of Jehovah departed out of his sight. And when Gideon perceived that he was an angel of Jehovah, Gideon was alas. Oh, Jehovah God, because I have seen the angel of Jehovah face to face. And the Jehovah said unto him, Peace be unto thee, fear not, for thou shalt not die. And Gideon built an altar unto Jehovah and called it Jehovah Shalom. Unto this day it is yet in Ophrah and of the Abrazites. And it came to pass the same night that Jehovah said unto him, Take thy father's young bullock, even the second bullock of 7 years old, and throw down the altar of Baal, and thy father hath, and cut it down the grove that is by it, and build an altar unto Jehovah thy God upon the top of this rock in the second place, and take the second bullock, and offer a burnt sacrifice with wood of the grove which thou shalt cut down. And Gideon took 10 men of his servants and did as the Lord had said unto him. So it was, because he had feared his father's household and the men of the city, that he could not do it by day, but he did it by night. And when the men of the city arose early in the morning, behold, the altar of Baal was cast down, and the grove was cut down by it. That was by it. And the second bullock was offered upon the altar that was built. And they said to one another, Who hath done this thing? And when they inquired and asked, they said to Gideon, the son of Joash, hath done this thing. And the men of the city said unto Joash, Bring out thy son, that he may die, because he has cast down the altar of Baal, and because he has cut down the grove that was by it. And Joash said unto all the men that stood with him, Will ye plead for Baal? Will ye plead for Baal? Will ye save him? That you will plead for him? Let him be put to death while it is yet morning. If he be a god, let him plead for himself, because one hath cast down his altar. Therefore on that day he called him Jerubbaal, saying, Let Baal plead against him, because he hath thrown down his altar. Then all the Midianites and the Amalekites and the children of the east were gathered together, and went over and pitched in the valley of Jezreel. And the Spirit of Jehovah came upon Gideon, and he blew a trumpet, and Abiezer was gathered after him. And he sent messengers throughout Manasseh, who was also gathered after him. And he sent messengers to Asher, and unto Zebulun, and unto Naphtali, and they came to meet him. And Gideon said unto God, If thou wilt save Israel by my hand, as thou hast said, behold, I will put a fleece of wool on the floor, and if dew be on the fleece only, and it be dry upon the earth beside, then I will know, wilt thou save Israel by my hand, as thou hast said. And it was so. For he rose up early on the morrow, and thrust the fleece together, and wringed out the dew of the fleece with a bowl of water. And Gideon said unto God, Let not thy anger be hot against me, and I will speak this once, but let me test, I pray thee, but this once the fleece, now let it be dry only upon the fleece, and upon all the ground let there be dew. And God did so that night, for it was dry upon the fleece, and only there was dew upon the ground. So he just didn't believe God. He has to test God. And I think that's kind of the beginning of God uses Gideon, but then Gideon, he's going to get caught up with this ephod. Man, he gets caught up with the ephod. Then Jerubbaal, who is Gideon, and all the people that were with him rose up early and pitched beside the well of Harod, so that the host of the Midianites were on the north side of them by the hill in the Morah valley. And Jehovah said unto Gideon, The people that are with thee are too many to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, My own hand hath saved me. My own hand hath saved me. Now therefore go. Proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, Whoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart early from the Mount Gilead. And there returned of the people 20 and 2,000, and there remained 10,000. And Jehovah said unto Gideon, The people are yet too many. Bring them down to the water, and I will try them for thee. And it shall be, whom that say unto thee, This shall go with thee, the same shall go with thee of the whomever I say thee. This shall not go with thee, the same shall not go. So he brought down the people of the water, and Jehovah said unto Gideon, every one that lappeth the water with his tongue, as a dog lappeth, him hell shall be sent by himself. Likewise, every one that boweth upon his knees to drink, and the number of them that lap, putting their hand to the mouth, were 300 men. But the rest of the people bowed down their knees to drink the water. So we've got a cat, okay? And this cat its mom was feral, okay? And then my mother-in-law took care of this feral cat, fed this feral cat. It had kittens, and then we ended up with one of these kittens. And this little gray cat is sharp, okay? When it goes to drink water, it puts its paws in and keeps its head up on a swivel and drinks the water off its paws. Okay, just like here, he's separating the people. The ones that just go down and drink the water out of the river by putting their head into the river. No, they're not chosen. He takes the 300 that keep their head up and drink the water and bring the water to their mouth. Okay, it's just wild when you see this cat drink. If I'm watering plants or something outside and there's a bucket with water and, say I'm trying to root some other plants, it goes up to that bucket and drinks right out of it with its paw, and it will not just lap up water. It always drinks with its paw. It is wild. Maybe inside where it's like super safe, but outside, head's always on a swivel. And Jehovah said unto Gideon, and by 300 men that lapped I will save you, and deliver the Midianites into thine hand, and let all other people every go man to his place. So he took the victuals in their hand and their trumpets, and he sent all the rest of Israel, every man into his tent, and retained those 300 men, and the host of Midian that was beneath him in the valley. And it came to pass that night when Jehovah said unto him, arise, go thee down unto the host, for I have delivered into thy hand. But if thou shalt fear, go down to Purah, thy servant, down to the host. And thou shalt hear what they say. And afterward shall thine hands be strengthened to go down to the host. And when he went down with Purah and told his servants unto the outside of the armed men that were there in the host, and the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the children of the east lay along the valley like grasshoppers for the multitude, and their camels were without number, as by sand by the sea for the multitude. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream unto his fellow, and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream. Lo, a cake of barley bread trembled into the host of Midian, and came into a tent, and smote it, and it fell, and overturned it, that by the tent it lay along. And as the fellow answered and said, this is nothing else to save the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, a man of Israel, into his hand, that God had delivered Midian and all the host. And it was so, when Gideon heard the telling of the dream and the interpretation thereof, that he worshipped and returned unto the host of Israel, and said, arise, for Jehovah had delivered into your hand the host of Midian. And he divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and he put trumpets in every man's hand, and with empty pitchers and lamps within the pitchers. And he said to them, look upon me and do likewise. And behold, when I come out of the side of the camp, it shall be that I should do, so shall ye do. When I blow a trumpet, and I and all that are with me, I blow the trumpets also on every side of the camp, and say, the sword of Jehovah and the sword of Gideon. So Gideon and the 300 men that were with him came unto the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle of the watch, and they had but newly set the watch. And they blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers that were in their hands. And 3 companies blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers that held the lamps in their left hands, and the trumpets in their right hands, to blow wherewithal. And they cried, the sword of Jehovah and Gideon. And they stood every man in his place round about the camp, and the host ran and circled and fled. And 300 blew trumpets, and Jehovah set every man's sword against his fellow, and threw out all the host, and all the host fled into Sittah and Zerah, and the border of Abel Meholah and Taberah. And the men of Israel gathered themselves together out of Naphtali and out of Asher and out of Manasseh and pursued after the Midianites. And Gideon sent messengers throughout all the Mount Ephraim, saying, Come down against the Midianites and take them before the waters into the Beth Barah and unto the Jordan. And all the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together and took to the waters in the Beth Barah and the Jordan. And they took two princes of Midianites, Oreb and Zeb, and they slew Oreb Zeb upon the rock Oreb. And Zeb they slew at the winepress of Zeb. And they pursued Midian and brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon on the other side. Whew. All that excitement. So they had these lamps inside pitchers, and so they wouldn't see the lamps that were lit. Okay, a pitcher back then would have been like clay. Okay, it wouldn't be like this glass pitcher that you could see through. It'd be clay, so it'd be hiding the flame. Then they bust that. It's got oil in it. There's lots of fire. So you got fire and trumpets blowing, and then God confuses all the Midianites, and they start hacking each other to pieces with swords. Pretty wild, okay? So that is this battle that Gideon beats the Midianites and the Amalekites and all them. Okay, so that is Judges 6 and 7. All right, so Judges 8 will be tomorrow. And Proverbs 31, 8 and 9. Proverbs 31, 8 and 9. Should I read it? You want me to read it? Proverbs 31, 8 and 9. Does it have to do with today's deal? Proverbs, let's see, 31, 8, 9. Open thy mouth for dumb in the cause of all such are appointed to destruction. Yeah. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead for the cause of the poor and the needy. Oh, amen, amen. The dumb are appointed destruction. Yep. What's the beginning of wisdom? And we fear God, right? Right on there, April. Thank you. Praise Yah. What are you doing on Saturday? You want to do our join us for the Sabbath gathering? Yeah. You go straightisthegate.net. Right there, you'll see Zoom call, and the code's 144. Starts at 5 in the morning EST. The people in the UK kick it off every Saturday morning. Praise Yah. Love you guys.